Hi everybody, and welcome back to Kevin's Upfront Opinion today. So, today what I thought I'd speak about is OnlyFans. I can't believe I'm doing this. Right, speaking about this, because I got approached about OnlyFans the other day. Okay, specifically yesterday. It's been brought up to me on a couple of occasions over the last week. And I spoke to my neighbour about it. Now, before you all jump to conclusions, no, I'm not on OnlyFans. I'm not showing off my gorgeous temple of a body or my feet or anything like that on OnlyFans. So you can go looking. You are not going to find me on OnlyFans, okay? And I don't really think people are going to want to see me on OnlyFans, to be brutally honest. Okay, so why am I speaking about it? Well, the main reason is I remember somebody speaking to me back last year. I think it was last year, might have been the year before, whenever anyway. Um, because I used to do OnlyFans. Okay, and I know a few other people have spoken to me and said that they're considering doing it. Okay, so and they basically said to me, "Shall I go and do it?" Because there's a lot of money to be made out of it. And yeah, that's true. You can make a lot of money out of it. Okay, but this is my problem, and this is my fundamental problem. And for all the haters that are going to come at me for saying this, my problem with OnlyFans is one, the way I look at it, and maybe you can say I'm an old man, I'm in my late 40s, I'm past my sale by date and everything. I see it as prostitution. That's the way I see it. And before anybody says, no, I've never been on an adult website in my life, I've never bought a porn magazine. Yes, I've seen a porn film. I'm not going to deny it. I have seen one before. But, I was a kid at the time. So that's my defense. As an adult, I've never gone down any of that route. And I've not had to because, I've been married. So the reality is that's the way I personally see it. Okay. Now, if you were to go, say for instance, you go onto Google, okay, and you put in, is prostitution and OnlyFans the same thing? It will say yes. Because the question you've got to ask yourself, and it's quite a simple question, is why aren't OnlyFans allowed to advertise? Okay. What is OnlyFans, fundamentally? Okay. And I only found the answer to these questions because I went and did a bit of research. And I'm not going to tell people not to do it because there are benefits to doing things like OnlyFans, okay, which I'll come into in a minute. Now, first of all, OnlyFans list themselves as a social media platform, so the people that are on there are able to put their own content out. No different to Facebook or Instagram or any of that. They're social media platforms. So that's the way that only the holding company for OnlyFans are able to get around it. Second of all, okay, OnlyFans, okay, don't go and advertise publishers. They don't do that. The publishers, as in the people who are putting the content up, have to advertise that content. It's no different to me on YouTube. YouTube aren't specifically going to promote my videos for me. Okay, I have to do that, and it's the same thing at the end of the day because it's social media. It's a dog eat dog world. Okay, now when you look at it, what are the good things about OnlyFans? And that's what you've got to look at because I can look at the negatives and I can just stream them off all day. Okay, no problems. Okay, but you've got to come up with some positives, and there are positives about OnlyFans, and I'm not going to knock that. One, you get paid a lot of money, or you can be I know people that have done it, um, to set themselves up for the rest of their lives. Okay. And if you've got the guts or the balls to do that, all well and good for you. Okay. If you can set yourself up for the rest of your life, you know, earn the money, raise the money, go and buy yourself a house, get yourself a car, have enough money in the bank. So if you want to go and have children, or pay for a wedding or anything, that's all well and good. I've got no general issue with people doing something like that to set themselves up for the rest of their lives so they can live the life that they want to live. It's no different to somebody setting up a business. You know, business at the end of the day, and I've worked in the business world, is a dog eat dog world. You know, I've done things as a salesperson, most people would absolutely cringe. Me personally, I would sell out my own family to get a sale. That's what I used to be like. I even did it to my own sister. I ripped off my own sister just to get a sale. Okay. So I could earn a bit more money at the end of the week. And probably most of you thinking, you low life scumbag, Kevin. And yeah, I was. I was a scumbag. And I did do that. Never cost her a lot of money. Okay. But I managed to work her into it was only a sign up for a charity, to be honest. And I earned pretty decent money at the time doing it. Am I sorry for doing it? Yeah, I am. I shouldn't have done it, but I did do it because I wanted to earn more money, and it's no different to that. Okay, so if you can do it and you want to earn decent money, then there is that option. Now, the other good thing about OnlyFans, okay, and it can be a positive and a negative, it can help with self confidence. It can make you a more confident person. It creates body confidence, all of those things, which fundamentally in society today people lack, especially women. I know that only too well because obviously I'm married, I've got daughters. I know a lot of women as well. Having worked in the sales industry and having to deal with marketing marketing departments. When I dealt with marketing departments, it was like 9 times out of 10, I was having to deal with women at the end of the day. If I was dealing with smaller companies, I'd be dealing with secretaries. 9 times out of 10, they're women. So the reality is, doing that type of thing, okay, can be really good for your self-confidence and your body confidence. So you have more confidence within yourself to basically be happy, because that's what everybody wants in life. They want to be happy, okay, because it does you no good being down and depressed. I know I've suffered from depression for over 30 years. um, there are reasons for that, and I've spoken about that in previous videos. Now, if you're going to look at the positives, you've got to look at the negatives. And this is the big one. And most people are going to say, oh, I don't care about that. You're talking out of your ass. Okay, and I'm sorry to say it, they will be talking out of our ass when I come on to this. And number one is it's never going to disappear. Are people able to steal the content? Say for instance, you put a video up. Let's say for instance, I'm trying to think of a polite way to put it. You're getting down and dirty with maybe a loved one, or it could be a stranger, whatever it is. Okay, I'm not going to tarnish you. And you go and do something like that, and when you go and put it on, and you got your subscribers. I don't know if people can actually take that content. They might be able to. They might not. They might have to watch it on there. Now that's one problem, because everybody's going to think of you in one particular way. Because the problem is that content's never going to disappear. It's always going to be on social media. People are going to know what you've done at the end of the day. And the second thing is two things. And this is what one person said to me. Somebody that I knew quite a while ago, and they actually said this to me. And they said that a partner said that they would think less of them because of what they've done and put it out there. And that's the fundamental problem. That, say for instance, you decide to give it up because you've earned what you wanted to. And let's say you get a boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever way it's going to be at the end of the day, whether you're male or female. I'm going to be careful with saying that. I know someone's going to have a go. But people are going to think a certain thing of you. You know, they're going to think that you're easy. They're going to think that you're an easy lay at the end of the day. You know, that they're on a guarantee because of what you've done. Because people automatically judge people. Whether people want to admit to that or not is irrelevant. People judge people at the end of the day. You know I do it. I'm guilty as sin for judging people. You know, when I used to be a door canvasser, I'd go into an area and I'd automatically, before I've spoken to anybody, before I've seen anybody, I've already judged the people in that area. Okay. Approaching a front door, okay, just by looking at the house, looking at the features and everything, I've automatically judged what they're going to be like. Sometimes I'll be wrong. 9 times out of 10, I would actually be right. Okay. So the reality is people judge people all the time. So that's one problem. The other problem, and it's another problem that I see, is if you have children. Because as they get older, they're going to be able to find that content. And especially if it's boys, specifically, okay, if they got any mates, they're going to get ripped. And if you think that they're not, trust me, they will. They will get absolutely ripped for it. And the thing is, if it's their mother that's done it, okay, and I know this is an awful thing to say, they are going to get absolutely ripped about their mother. And 9 times out of 10, boys are going to come to the defence of their mother, and that could potentially lead to fights or whatever. And that's where I see the problem with OnlyFans. But a lot of people are looking at the short-term gains, which there's potentially a lot to be made out of it, and not looking at the long term. Okay, so let me know what you think. If you're somebody that actually uses OnlyFans or does OnlyFans, let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. You know, all good to you. If you want to disagree with me, let me know what you personally think. Tell me how I'm wrong. Okay, that's what I want to hear. I want you to tell me how I'm wrong. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all again a bit later.